Hey friends, it's Roger. I am back in the Ninja Fortress of Productivity, and we are bringing you a timely Tuesday today, Tuesday, July 13th. If you would be interested in something that you can start working on immediately that will literally allow you to tap into an infinite source of energy and develop real stamina and present moment awareness, you want to stick around for this lesson. I learned something just a few days ago that taught me something that I wanted to share with you that will blow up your energy level and your ability to perform under pressure. So let's go. On vacation, a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Hey, you're the brain guy. You need to check out the story of a woman named Diane Van Deren." And I was like, I've never heard of her before. And my friend said, check her out. She's got an amazing story. And so, yeah, her story taught me a bunch about, really, it's a little cliche to talk about the power of present moment awareness. I mean, a lot of best-selling books have been written about that. But her situation brought it into a very clear light for me. So I'm going to tell you her story and then talk with you about how you can apply her situation and the lessons from her life in a way that I think is really going to work for you. So here's Diane Van Deren. If you want to look her up, by the way, it's Diane with one and D-I-A-N-E, Van, V-A-N, Deren, D-E-R-E-N. Check it out. You'll see a bunch of articles about her in running publications mostly, endurance sports publications mostly. Diane Van Deren has been an athlete her whole life. When she was younger, she was a very, very high-level tennis player. She had to stop playing tennis because she also had epilepsy, that as it got worse with age, caused her to have a lot of seizures that basically shut down her tennis career. Well, as part of her therapy, she found that one of the things that really helped her manage her epileptic seizures was running. So in her late 20s to 40s, she became a pretty good distance runner, right? She started running just as part of like her therapy, and if she found it like medicinal for her. And the result was that she became a pretty decent distance runner. But then as epilepsy, often happens with epilepsy, it started getting worse to where just her running and her medicine did not allow, like it stopped being effective in managing the seizures. The epilepsy got worse. And so what happened was that she had to have a pretty radical procedure called a lobectomy, where what the doctors did is they literally they kind of scooped out a chunk of her brain in the right temporal lobe, about the size of a golf ball. And what it did for her, number one, is this procedure was completely effective at stopping her seizures. She has not had a seizure since, and this was in the 1990s. And then what it also did is it turned her into one of the most dominant endurance athletes that the world has ever known. See, the part of, I'll give you some examples of what she's done. Like most recently, now this was a few years ago, she's 61 years old now, but she did things like win the Yukon Arctic 300, which is a 300-mile race on foot, pulling a 50-pound dog sled above the Arctic Circle for 300 miles where temperatures hit things like 50 below zero. That's just sort of one of her ultra endurance wins that she's compiled over the years. And her stamina is world-renowned, and here's where it comes from. This is why this all relates to the brain thing. The operation that she had was done to remove the parts of her brain that her seizures were focused around. When they took that out, it removed the part of her brain that obviously was seizing, but it removed part of the right temporal lobe and part of her hippocampus, which I don't want to get all like super nerdy on brain science with you here, but if you understand brain science at all, what happened to her makes a ton, it just makes all the sense in the world. I don't recommend getting this procedure done, by the way. Like, do not do this as a performance enhancement, because some of the negative effects that she experienced is, since then, as a result of this procedure, she does have trouble with her memory. She also has trouble with her sense of direction. Basically, what this procedure did is it caused her to lose a lot, not all, but a lot of her connection with time. She has a very weak connection to the past and to the future. Now think about this for a second. She has a really hard time existing in the past. Like I said, her short-term memory has problems. Her long-term memory has problems. Things in the past are a little bit fuzzy for her sometimes, for Diane. And then the future is also a little bit fuzzy for her. Often when she's racing, she loses her sense of direction or like the end goal that she has in mind. But the plus of this that serves her really, really well as a distance runner is that it means that she lives her entire life right now, in the present moment. Like, she literally almost doesn't know anything other than what she's doing right now. She loses her, like, especially when she's racing, she loses her sense of time. She loses her sense, and as a result, she loses all of the negative emotions that are associated with things like working really hard and with pain. Her pain tolerance is off the charts. Her stamina is off the charts, and she can just go, and like almost doesn't even notice it. Why am I telling you all of this? It's because as we're entering the second half of 2021, I know that you need to perform. I know that you need to tap into vast quantities of energy to accomplish your goals. And while I don't recommend that you go and have, a big chunk of your brain scooped out to do it, anything that you can do to be in the moment that you're in, to be where you're at, and shut off the thinking, future-oriented or memory guilt-oriented parts of your brain, the better off you're going to be. And the more energy you have access to, and the more your stamina and focus and tolerance for adversity goes up. So if you're wondering, okay, well, how do I do this? I have to tell you, as I was thinking about this lesson, it occurs to me that literally almost everything that we teach in all of our coaching is ultimately designed to allow you to be where you're at through the course of your week. Things like having a well-articulated set of core values allows you to stop questioning, what am I doing with my life, which saps a huge amount of energy. Things like having short-term goals that you wake up in the morning and you know you're focused on allows you to kind of shut off your brain and insulate yourself from the like, what do I got to do today questions. Things like the 2-hour solution that we work on so diligently allows you to kind of, go through each day knowing that you are in line with your goals. And all of these things, I don't want to keep going. There's literally dozens of things that I could talk about that in our coaching, ultimately what they allow you to do is to simply be where you're at. The more you can do that, the more you can be just being where you're at, the less your brain is occupied with what's going to happen or what already happened, And when you do that, when you live in this moment, right now, you have access to literally an infinite amount of energy, because that's where it lives, right now. Take the example of Diane Van Deren, and yes, don't go get a lobectomy, but do spend as much of this week as you can in the moment that you're in. Watch how the time flies by, and watch how your performance and your results skyrocket, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey, listen, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so right now. If you haven't been to our masterclass, we got one coming up on August 10th. Make sure you get registered for that. And if you have questions about any of it, hey, you can just reach out to us. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you in 7 days.